Hey guys, Barry at CTech-review. What if I told you these 2026 Silverado 1500s behind me were the last year of the 5.3 liter and 6.2 liter V8? They're gone next year. What do you think they're going to replace it with? Let's get into this. Okay, so 5.3 liter and the 6.2 liter GM V8 is gone for 2027. It's going to be replaced by some new powertrains. What if I also told you that soon, in the future, very near future, you're not going to be able to get a GM truck and several GM vehicles with leather interior? Wrap your mind around that. No leather. Leather is being replaced by a new vegan-friendly option. What would you say to that? Would you be happy about getting rid of leather and there is a faux leather that feels and looks like leather, but it's not leather? I could go either way because I've seen some pretty good products out there. What would your thoughts be on that? This is actually not a bad engine. I know some people, it's not for them, towing heavy, totally get it, but I've been pretty impressed by it. It seems to be okay. I am curious though, if you guys are running into anybody with TurboMax engines where they are having some oil consumption, I've got a friend of mine in Canada who's got one of these and he's got about 60,000 miles and he's burning about 1.5 quarts of oil between an oil change. He loves the truck, but he's wondering if other people are seeing that issue. So are you guys gonna be happy to see this engine being replaced for 2027 model year? What do you think the new engine will be that replaces the 5.3 liter? What do you think the displacement? If I had to guess, it's gonna be somewhere between a 5.6 liter and a 5.8 liter displacement. And what if I told you the 6.2 liter V8 is gonna be replaced by another V8 with a little larger displacement? Maybe it's somewhere between a 6.6 and a 6.7 liter. Would that be kind of interesting? What if we see for 2027 model year, General Motors take an already, I think this is actually a really good looking interior, and refresh this thing completely again. Whole new interior, whole new dash configuration, different instrument panels, different configuration. They're moving away from Apple CarPlay, which me personally, I'm a big Apple CarPlay fan because it works and it's reliable. And that's the biggest deal to me now. Don't add variables in that make you less reliable. Time will tell. But Apple CarPlay is going away. The 5.3, the 6.2 is going away. And leather interior is going to be going away in these future trucks. So what's sad to me about the L82 or L87, which used to be L86, I think this is a phenomenal engine for performance and fuel economy, but it's had 3 issues I've seen over the past few years. Obviously, this massive recall of connecting rod bearing failure. Okay, clearly that's a big one. But the second issue has been around lifter issues and oil consumption. And this seems to have been plaguing some of these V8s for quite a while. So I'm hoping these issues are addressed, and I'd like to see a more modern fuel system be brought in. Maybe we'll see dual fuel injection, a high pressure and low pressure fuel system like we've seen Ford do, which can help with performance, but also help with not building up on your intake valves as bad as a strict direct injection fuel system. Also, there's a lot of talk about a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle version of this Gen 6 V8 that would incorporate an electric assist motor inside of the 10-speed transmission. Ford does this today with their Power Boost engine. I'd like to see Ford do this on the 5-liter Coyote because the 5-liter Coyote on the highway does really good for fuel economy versus the Power Boost. Now imagine if you could add that hybrid technology for city driving. I think that's the home run, not the EcoBoost 3.5. And it's kind of funny. It's talking about replacing the 5.3, 6.2. I'll be curious to guess, what do you guys think the max horsepower is going to be with these new engines? If I had to guess, I bet the 5.3 engine replacement that replaces that one, I'm going to guess that's going to be somewhere between 425 and 450 horse. And I think the 6.2 liter engine replacement is going to fall somewhere between 450 and 500 horsepower. And if they can make a 500 horsepower natural aspirated V8 that's reliable, man, is that going to be awesome for towing power. And General Motors has always produced great torque at the low RPMs anyhow. So I think that could be a real phenomenal home run if they do this correctly. A little bit more about a wax-coated frame versus an e-coated frame. So General Motors uses a wax-coated frame where most of the others like Ford, Toyota, Ram, and actually even GM uses e-coated frames on the new Corvette and every other vehicle other than their full-size vehicle. So what is the difference and why do I talk so much about it? Well, a wax-coated frame is where they dip the frame in a waxed base anti-corrosion compound. It sounds amazing because if the surface treatment of the frame is done correctly, where you can get a good adhesion, the wax works really well because it can get into the seams, the joints, and the cavities. And it can remain soft and quote unquote self-healing. But I think it's better personally as a secondary layer on top of an e-coated or galvanic steel frame. And then this just kind of basically compares the difference between an e-coated frame and a wax-coated frame. There's pros and cons. I find it interesting if Ram or General Motors is going to go away from the wax coating. Why? One of the reasons that people like the wax coating more than a e-coating is if a rock hits a wax coated frame, it'll just kind of like push the wax coating, whereas you might get a chip in the paint with an e-coated. And then it talks about longevity, abrasion resistance. It's very hard. So you can power wash the frame of an e-coated frame and it cleans up nicely. That's been one of my big issues with the wax coating. When you try to power wash them, sometimes the wax can peel off or it just looks really dirty. As far as longevity, some people say that the e-coating works better, even though it doesn't have self-healing. And then, wax coating needs to be applied over time. You kind of see this wax coating, according to this, it's used on heavy duty trucks, but it doesn't come on the Super Duty or Ram HD, only on the GM full size. And then it says frames exposed to salt and snow belt conditions. That's where wax works better. And this is what's really funny. And this is why, guys, I tell you, when you use AI programs like ChatGPT, it's not accurate. It says Ford and GM both typically e-coat their frames. That's not true. Ford e-coats all their frames. General Motors e-coats everything, all their frames, except their 1500, 2500, 3500, 4500, and their Yukon, Tahoe, Escalade, Suburban, XL. All the full-size GM trucks are wax-coated. There's pros and cons to everything, and you can look this stuff over. But I think the best case scenario, and I wish someone would do it, I haven't seen it yet. Do an e-coat base layer and then put the wax over the top. Man, that's the home run situation for people that live in snowbelt. And this is what happens, guys, if you don't take care of your frame. You can kind of see this one's in good shape. You think that one's in good shape? Not so much. Here's another good example of frame rot. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Now, this is what the wax coating can kind of look like. You can kind of see how it's installed. See some buildup here, some more images, and this is a product you can use. If you guys are interested in this, I'll put a link down in the description. This is a product you can look for. And then this is more pictures, basically, of what happens when you don't take care of your frames. So would you guys be happy with a new V8 replacing the 5.3 and another new V8 replacing the 6.2 and a new dash layout and a Apple CarPlay going away and Android Auto and no leather interior? But I also heard something else that might be changing. I've heard they might be getting rid of the wax coated frames. You guys hear me talk about this a lot on my channel. I know some people see the benefit to it, but for my lifestyle, I like an e-coated frame more than a wax coated frame. I heard they're going away from wax coating and going to an e-coated frame, so that's kind of interesting. Why would they do that? Is that a good thing or bad thing? Leave your guys' comments down below. Also, do you think the 10-speed transmission issues are resolved in the GM? I'm hoping they do, because it's a pretty solid transmission when it works right. Especially can hold some big power, guys that mod their vehicles. I'll be curious your guys' thoughts. Do you think the new 10-speed will have some improvements? And it will also be interesting how they manage fueling and the emissions situation for the new engines. I hope we don't see a gasoline particulate filter on these new engines. And I'm wondering if there's one it's gonna happen to, it's gonna be that one right there. The Turbo Max with the 2.7 liter boosted engine. The boosted engines are the ones that are being impacted right now, and they're having to add a little bit more stringent particulate matter. So it'll be interesting to see, do we see that? But there's more to come, guys. We got a new Duramax engine coming out for the big HD trucks, and those are gonna be getting refreshed as well. Stay tuned, guys. A lot of fun stuff. I'm so excited to let you guys know about the changes coming for the 2027 model year GM trucks. Thanks for watching.